Last summer, about 50% of British primary schools, elementary schools, boycotted the national text. So they couldn't compile a national league table. And that's what they're reforming the whole thing. Because they realize the negative consequences. Now if you take a look at the US, the negative consequences. Number one, on an individual basis. If we stay true to the national requirement, what they say, we should not allow social promotion. We want to make sure you can read and do mathematics before you can do anything else. In a sense, that's discrimination against certain other talents. I mean, some children maybe may have to wait until they're 8. They're not, they're psychological, can wait. And then if you hold them back, because they cannot, so they have to be reading, they're stuck in the same boring place, reading, they still couldn't read. What do? An example would be, actually a great example would be Michael Phelps. You know Michael Phelps, the swimmer from Maryland, Baltimore, right? He's ADHD. His reading level has to be lower than others when he was younger. Now imagine this, using today's philosophy. We have to hold him back. So he would still be hooked on phonics somewhere. He couldn't be a swimmer. We couldn't have that because you have to hold him back, right? You have to be responsible to deliver intervention. That's what we talk about. So in that sense, we discourage a lot of different talents to flourish, which is really happens in Asian cultures. Because you may be a great painter, but your parents say, you can't even read, how can you paint? That's what they do, you know. You can't even do math, you know, how can you play violin? You know, you gotta take care of this before you do that. We're actually discriminating against other talents. We can call it talent side. Like genocide is called talent side. That's one of them. We kill other talents. That's how other cultures have. Now what's happening right now? The second thing, speak of education as a civil rights issue. When you have 2 subjects or 3 subjects that's been tested, we call them the core subjects. The others are called non-core or peripheral. You know how we treat peripheral is when we have a time, we'll take care of that. When we have money, we will take care of that. So what happens now in many schools, for the lack of time, resources, or because they have to focus on raising test scores, we privatize those activities. That is, schools no longer offer them as a school activity. So yes, it's those people who have the resources, who have the foresight, who have the money, who have the friends, will have the children continue to engage in sports, music, foreign languages, international travel, arts, while all the poor people will be given a lot of dosage of reading, phonics, and basic mathematics. And we depriving these people the opportunity to a real education that matters. It's a civil rights issue. So when people talk about civil rights issue, you know, when people always say, well, who are you to say that this kid cannot learn algebra too? That's, well, who are you to say this kid should not be learning Chinese? This big argument. So there's nobody should say that no one by the way has proven that math is essential or reading is essential. If you look at a lot of studies, if you don't believe me, read a book called A Mathematician's Lament. It says math is not about usefulness. Math is about imagination. Math is poetry. It's actually a theoretical mathematician wrote about it. It's very interesting thinking of different ways. It's our education today focuses too much on knowledge, on thinking. So the third thing of standardizing the side effects of today's curriculum is de-scaling teachers. All teachers are deprived of the professional autonomy to make decisions. You look at the US, how we have centralized. We've handed district decision to the state. The state now is handed to the federal government. The decentralized system is no longer valued. So all school district teachers, superintendents, leaders, principals have become, in essence, assistants of the national bureaucrats. Okay. Now with all of those things said, America needs to continue. But one thing, another fourth side effect is that American education has been driven to completely isolate itself from other places. 18.5% of all American students are enrolled in a foreign language. This is an active observation study. 18.5% in any language course. Plus, most American language education is too late, too little anyway. Right? Now it's only 18.5%. And I think from Nancy, from the Center for Applied Linguistics data, I think Dr. Chu just cited a little bit of the data, it declined. When you compare to any other countries, I was just in Brazil, there's booming interest in international schools. And most of international schools are either American school, Australian school, or British school. Actually, American school is growing. I was down in Campinas speaking to about 800 international educators, many of them from America. Asia, in 2007, there were only about 900 international schools. Now, last night I counted over 3,000. They all want that kind of American-style education. That says that, American-style education is liked by everybody except the American policymakers. Everyone else thinks it's great. We don't like it. But the reason they want it is actually want to become bilingual. They want to become globally competent. Even our fellow English speakers, New Zealand, I was just there, New Australia, I'm going there next week, they have been working on a national campaign called Asia Literate. Because now they think they're Asians. They don't want to follow, kind of Daddy America or Mom England anymore. They want to follow Asia. They're part of Asia now. So Asia literacy is a national strategy in schools. Not only China, but many other countries want to do. And England, they added more Mandarin Chinese and Arabic. England, our last government wanted every school in England, they give a lot of money to them, to have a twinning relationship, this partnership, global partner, international school. They set aside money to send school leaders, teachers, students to travel global in different places. The most amazing school, this is actually, I'm going to set the model for you, if you can do this. I was in Beijing. I wrote this most amazing school. It's called Think Global School. You go to the website of thinkglobalschool.org. It's a mobile school. It's a high school starting from 9th grade. Every year, they go to 3 countries. So the school, the students move with the teachers. The whole school move around. They started last October in Stockholm for I think a trimester. Then they moved to Sydney. And then they just arrived in Beijing. So I talked to the school, and they asked me to work with their students. Those are 15-year-olds. They only take 15 students each cohort. Those 15 students are from 11 countries. And they have now 8 staff members and faculty are from 7 different countries. It's just a fascinating way of thinking how, imagine these kids, after 4 years, they'll have to be in 12 different countries. 12 different countries, and have extensive experience. These are going to become the global leaders. Not only languages, but cultures. When Dr. Chu said that we are behind, that's very true. We're very behind. And the national policy is pushing us further behind. I think America, if I wish Dr. Chu said, if I were writing an elevator speech to any politician, I said, America is known for its creativity. We need to continue to be creative. But in the age of globalization, we need to at least know how to market our creativity to other people without pissing them off. That's a great speech on the floor of Congress. Don't you think about it? Imagine this. It's basically ideas that we have something you might need. We want to get this to you, and don't get mad at us, I think America, in age of globalization, our students need to become global entrepreneurs. They have to have the entrepreneur spirit, but the ability to spot opportunities in other areas. Do not view China as a competitor, viewed as a growing market. Do not view India as a competitor, viewed as potential partners. You can do the same thing. That takes a lot of cultural understanding, not just simple languages. Is truly cultural intelligence within that. That's why language is far from enough. I would encourage us to think about culture as more important.